is May 7th, May 12th, 2006, and we are interviewing Dale Carstens. He was born in May 7th, 1944, and he was a Sergeant E5, and he served during the Vietnam War. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted. They did have, you could enlist back then too, but I was drafted.
And when was that?
That was May of 1968.
Where were you living at the time?
Actually, same place as I'm living right now, just down the street.
Why did you pick the service branch you joined?
Actually, I didn't pick it. The government picked it for me. When you get drafted, you don't pick. They do. And they picked the U.S. Army, and that's where I served my 2 years.
Do you recall your first days in the service?
Oh yeah. To me, it was kind of a lonely situation compared to what I was used to. When you're uprooted and you're put into a different environment that you've never known before, it gets to be a kind of a lonely deal.
What was your boot camp training like?
Boot camp, I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Your first few days, I think they have to put you in a form of what they want you to think, but we did a lot of sorting of rocks. If you ever been to Fort Leonard Wood, there's a lot of rocks. In Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, there's rocks and more rocks and more rocks. We were actually sorting rocks from one side of the road to the other side of a road. Small rocks on one side, big rocks on the other. I think it's just a discipline type thing is what they're trying to teach you.
What other kind of drills did you do?
Well, it's your basic. A lot of physical. Isn't anything different than what you would do in your physical education class here in school. We did it. You run the mile. You do all your various physical things. Then on top of that, of course, you have to qualify with your weapons. So that's pretty much what basic is. It's to get you physically fit for combat.
Do you remember any of your instructors?
No, but I don't really want to either.
How did you get through it all?
Well, you have to do what you have to do. You're put there to do, what they sent you there for. So it's just I guess at the point, if you don't get through it the first time, you're going to go back and you're going to do it again. So you might as well do it the first time and get it right. Your boot camp is like, so many weeks along, and if you don't get it right the first time, if you don't pass their expectations, they'll just run you through again. So you might as well get it right first time.
So you did serve in the Vietnam War.
Yes. Yeah, Vietnam.
When was the time of your tour?
It was October of '68 to October of '69.
And where exactly did you go?
I came in country at Cam Ranh Bay, South Vietnam. Went from Cam Ranh Bay to Chu Lai. Base camp would have been in Chu Lai. I spent most of my time on an LZ 25 miles south of Da Nang. Just out in the boonies, you might say.
Do you remember arriving and what it was like?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I stepped off that airplane, I didn't want to breathe. Can you imagine the most musty smell that you have ever in your life smelled? In other words, you can go into some basement. The worst smell that you can possibly smell in musty. And then take that times probably about 10. And that's about what that smelled like over there. And you had to breathe when you stepped up, but you didn't want to.
What was the scenery like?
Scenery, this was by the South China Sea. At that time, it was they were picking up a lot of rain, so it was reddish in color, reddish clay, because that sea was just rolling. Lots of rice paddies all over the place. That's pretty much what it boiled down to. You get out in the boonies, you had a lot of hills and valleys. So hills, some mountains. When you get down into the valleys, of course, that's where your rice paddies were.
What was your assignment?
I was what they call an automatic weapons crewman, which was on 50 caliber machine guns. It was on a quad 50. It's 450 caliber machine guns mounted on a turret. It's an anti-aircraft weapon. However, it really wasn't used as that there. It was used on bunker line securities. You just airlift one out and set it on a bunker line, or you used it on a convoy security. It was mounted on the back of a deuce and a half, and it would just be in a convoy, and usually somewhere in the middle of it, and it would just be for the security of that convoy.
Did you see a lot of combat?
Oh, not a lot. I would say you would get skirmishes. You know, sometimes in the nights you would have rockets come in or something like that. But as far as hand to hand or something like that, no. I wasn't infantry. I was anti-aircraft, so infantry would see more than what I would have.
What was your mission?
My mission was surviving. That's the way I looked at it. Do the best you can. By automatic weapons crewman, is what my MOS was. But then after I got in country, the captain of the battery put me on in what they called a turret mechanic. So what I did is I did a lot of flying. I went out, and if somebody had problems with the guns, I would go out and work on them, get them going again, test fire them, anything to make sure they worked. So that's pretty much what my mission really was, to make sure they worked and worked well.
Were there many casualties in your unit?
I only recall of a couple of them. One of them was just shortly after I come in the country. A squad leader got hit by an RPG, which is a rocket-propelled grenade, killed him. A good friend of mine was killed. He was on a chopper, and it got shot down right off the side of the hill.
What were some of your more memorable experiences?
Oh, I would say, I guess one of the funniest things in some ways is we didn't have what you would have standard bathrooms. If you went back into your old time days, maybe if you checked out your grandparents or whatever, you might known as an outhouse. That's what we had. A rocket came in one night and actually blew up one of our outhouses on the side of the hill, and we thought it was kind of funny. However, nobody was in it, but that was a good thing. But it was kind of funny.
Were there any others?
Made us mad, but nevertheless.
Were there any other experiences that you
Oh.
recall?
No, I guess that was one of the main things. You can't really. It's hard to, actually get into one particular thing, or if you just went through day by day trying to survive it and go on to the next.
Were you, or was anyone you know ever a prisoner of war?
No, I didn't know anyone that I'm aware of that was a prisoner of war.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
I was awarded, I guess, the most prestigious one would be the Bronze Star. I earned a Bronze Star. I also have a Cross of Gallantry that was awarded from the South Vietnam government. It's a Cross of Gallantry with a palm on it. I have 6 medals total.
How did you get them?
Well, basically you earn them, but some of them you got just, they were campaign, some of them were campaign medals just for serving in particular areas or in the conduct that you would have had during your service as part of it.
Did you ever experience any horrors of war?
No, I can't say that I have. I think the worst thing is, like say, I lost a good friend on a chopper, and I was on that chopper the day before. That very same chopper. That'll make you think.
How did you stay in touch with your family?
You wrote letters. Today, you have phone cards and things like that where you can call home. You did not have computers and things that some of these guys have nowadays. Back then, you wrote letters and you received letters, and it took time between.
Did you ever feel lonely in that period?
Absolutely.
What did you do to try and lessen that feeling of loneliness?
Well, yeah, I mean, you had people, in your outfit. You lived with them. You spent your time. We did a lot of playing of cards. I never played so many hearts in my life as what I did there. Actually, I got good at it, but we spent a lot of time doing it. That's pretty much what we did in past times, is play a lot of cards.
What was the food like?
Well, I'd have to say more average. Wasn't nothing fantastic. Seemed like we had a lot of roast beef, which we always called water buffalo. So even today, sometimes we have roast beef. I'll call it water buffalo. But we had a lot of roast beef. But when you consider where you were at, it really wasn't that bad.
Did you have plenty of supplies?
Yeah, I can't say that we were ever short of any supplies. I think supplies was really pretty decent.
Did you ever feel a little pressure or stress?
I think when the bullets are flying, yeah, you got you got some stress behind that. You just wanted to make sure you didn't get in the way of one of them bullets.
Did you do anything for good luck?
No, afraid not. I don't really know what you would even do.
So, other than cards, how did you entertain yourself?
Actually, that's pretty much it. Once in a while, we did have a Bob Hope show that came in country. We did manage to get to that. I don't know if you ever heard of those or not, but it was there was a lot of servicemen there watching the show.
So, yes, there were entertainers, like Bob Hope at the USO shows.
Yeah, but that's really the only one we had there. Once in a while, you might get to where they'd show a movie or something if you happen to be in the right location. But not usually. You just played cards.
What did you do when you were on leave?
When I went on leave, I went to Hawaii. I met my wife in Hawaii. We just kind of did a little. We went to a luau and all that, and then just did a little bit of touring of Hawaii. That's really pretty much it. Then I went back.
Where did you travel while you were in service?
For a farm boy that never flew in an airplane, I think I flew everywhere. I never flew before I got into the service, but I from anywhere from Chicago, where you were inducted, back flew down into Missouri at Fort Leonard Wood, and flew various places within the state of Illinois. Flew down to Fort Bliss, Texas. I was there. Tacoma, Washington, also back and forth, of course, between there and Illinois, and to Japan on the way over, and then from Japan to South Vietnam, back to Tacoma, Washington, back home, then ended up at Fort Bliss, Texas again to finish my last about 6 months left, and then I actually drove then from there back after I got out.
Did you ever pull any pranks, or did people pull pranks on you?
Actually, no. Not. Pretty much everything was serious, especially if you were in a combat zone. You didn't do things like that. Combat zone, everything had to be pretty much straight.
Do you have any photographs?
Yeah, I have a lot of photographs. I probably got 400, something like that overall.
What did you think of your squad?
I think it was an excellent group of people. A group of people that stuck together. And if you're in a combat zone, that you have to have that. You have to trust your buddy because your life depended on it.
Do you remember any individuals personally?
Yeah, I still keep in contact with a couple of guys. And, I usually get Christmas cards, and we send Christmas cards and stuff back and forth. He's not local. One is. One is not. One's clear over and out in Pennsylvania.
Did you ever keep a record of your experiences, or a diary, or a journal?
No. No, I really didn't.
Do you recall the day that your service ended?
Oh yeah, that was the happiest day of my life, I think. Yep, I definitely do. I drove back from El Paso, Texas.
Where were you at the time?
That was El Paso, Texas. When I got out from El Paso, Texas, and then I drove back from there back to Pontiac.
What did you do in the days and weeks afterwards?
Prepare to go back to work. I think I took a week or so off and went back to work. I went back and worked out here at Interlake Incorporated here at Pontiac for 21 and a half years.
Was that your previous job before the war?
Yes, it was. Back then, it was a law that where your employer was, they had to hire you back. They had to take you back into wherever you was at prior to your drafting. Where today, a lot of them don't do that, and that's sad.
Did you join a veterans organization?
Yes, I'm a life member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, AMVETS. I also am a life member of the VFW National Home, which is a children's home. So they're all kind of connected.
Did your military experiences influence your thinking about war or military?
Absolutely. I think you really get first-hand experience on what these people go through. Until you actually go and do it, the experience, there's just nothing like it, but you wouldn't want to do it again. It's one of them things.
What kind of activities do you occur in your veterans organization?
Well, I'm very active in the VFW. I'm an all-state post commander for 2 years in a row. The Pontiac Post 886. We do a lot of youth programs. One that you should be very common with would be the Voice of Democracy. Patriot Pen is in your junior high. We do a lot of drug safety things, fire safety. There's a lot of community things that we do. People don't realize what the Veterans of War and Wars really does in their communities. They think of it as something other than what it really down deep is. It's a fraternal organization, but it does help the community.
How did your service and experiences affect your life?
Now, that I would have to say big time. When I was drafted, I would have never believed that it would have done what it has. Actually, right now, my whole life rotates around it. Now, that's bizarre, but I don't know if that affects everyone that way, but I think as you get older, I think that does. You reflect on it all the time. Because of what I did, because of serving in Vietnam, this made me eligible to belong to these veterans organizations. That made me eligible to be the VFW member, the VFW post commander. And I also am a junior vice commander in the 7th District of the Veterans of War and Wars also. That is the most elite group of veterans that we have. I enjoy working with veterans. I enjoy serving veterans, talking to veterans. Veterans have a lot of needs themselves. Just they have a lot of things to relate to, and helping them do that is very important. It is to me.
Is there anything you would like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
I think that one of the things I'm hoping that when people see these things, what from the interviews, especially youth of today, they can relate to what veterans actually go through when they go out. And freedom is not free. Some people take it for granted. If you believe it, it's not free. People die for it. And all they want, I think, is a little appreciation for the effort that they put forth. A lot of people, you go a little appreciation to our flag, respect to it. You get in the parades. Sometimes you go to watch a parade. I want you to take a look, and when the colors go by, what do people do? And it's sad. It is sad. I know I've been in many parades. I've watched them. When the colors go by, what you would do is you would stand, show respect to that flag, the flag of the United States that we fought for, we bleed for. But you'll see people sitting on their butts, keister, whatever you want to call it, no respect whatsoever. They don't take their hat off. They don't salute the flag. It's sad.
Well, we would like to thank you for your service for your country and for your time in this interview.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.